His life didn't change when the world around him got better. It changed when he learned to train his thoughts. Arjun sat alone in his dimly lit apartment, the hum of the city outside barely reaching him. At 32, he had a decent job, a few friends, and a life that looked fine on the outside. But inside, his mind was a storm. Every decision was a maze of overthinking. What if I fail? What will people think? His inner voice was relentless, tearing down every idea before it could grow. Self-doubt was his constant shadow, whispering that he wasn't good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. Even when things went well, a promotion, a kind word from a colleague, Arjun's mind twisted it. They'll see through me soon. I don't deserve this. He expected the worst, always. This untrained mind shaped his life in ways he didn't see at first. At work, he stayed silent in meetings, afraid his ideas would be mocked. Opportunities for growth passed him by as colleagues stepped forward while he hesitated. He turned down invitations to social events, convinced he'd say something foolish or be judged. His isolation grew, a heavy weight on his chest. Anxiety crept in, tightening his breath, keeping him awake at night. He procrastinated on projects, paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. His body felt it too, constant headaches, a racing heart, and a fatigue that no amount of sleep could fix. Arjun was losing himself, one negative thought at a time. One rainy evening, everything broke. Arjun sat at his desk, staring at an unfinished report he'd been avoiding for weeks. His phone buzzed with a text from his sister, Priya. "You haven't called in months. Are you okay?" He wasn't. Tears welled up as he realized how far he'd drifted, not just from others, but from himself. In that moment, alone with his thoughts, he saw the truth. His mind was the battlefield. If he didn't learn to control it, it would destroy him. The turning point came unexpectedly. The next day, Arjun found an old journal his late father had given him years ago, tucked away in a drawer. On the first page, his father had written, "Your thoughts are your power. Guard them well." Those words hit him like a lightning bolt. He realized he'd been letting his mind run wild, like an untrained horse trampling everything in its path. That night, he opened the journal and wrote one sentence: "I am tired of being my own enemy." It was the first step. Arjun began his journey to retrain his thoughts. It wasn't easy. His mind fought back, dragging him into old patterns of doubt and fear. But he started small. Each morning, he wrote 3 things he was grateful for: a warm cup of coffee, the sunrise, a kind coworker. At first, it felt forced, but over time, it shifted his focus from what could go wrong to what was already good. He started daily affirmations, standing in front of his mirror saying, "I am capable. I am enough." His voice shook at first, but he kept going. He replaced negative loops with action. When his mind screamed, "You'll fail at this presentation," he prepared harder, practiced in front of the mirror, and showed up. He began practicing mindfulness, sitting quietly for 5 minutes each day, focusing on his breath. When negative thoughts arose, he noticed them without judgment and let them pass, like clouds in the sky. It was hard. Some days the clouds felt like a storm, but he persisted. Small victories began to stack up. One day he spoke up in a meeting, sharing an idea that earned a nod from his boss. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Coffee invitations, slowly rebuilding connections he'd pushed away. Each step felt like a battle against his old self, but every small win, finishing a project on time, laughing with a friend, feeling a moment of calm, built his confidence. Arjun's world was changing, not because his circumstances were different, but because his thoughts were. Others noticed the shift. At work, his boss praised his newfound initiative, assigning him a lead role on a project. His sister Priya hugged him tightly during a family dinner, saying, "It's like I have my brother back." Friends started reaching out more, drawn to his quieter, steadier presence. Arjun felt an inner calm he hadn't known was possible. His headaches lessened, and sleep came easier. He wasn't perfect. Some days the old doubts crept in, but he had tools now. He could fight back. The transformation reached its peak one crisp morning, months later. Arjun stood on a hill overlooking the city, the sunrise painting the sky in gold and pink. He'd hiked here alone, something his old self would have overthought and avoided. As he stood there breathing deeply, he felt a quiet strength. His mind, once a battlefield of fear, was becoming a place of possibility. He pulled out his journal and wrote, "I am not my thoughts. I am what I choose to do with them." Arjun's life wasn't perfect, but it was his again. He learned that thoughts weren't facts. They were choices. By training his mind, he'd rebuilt his world. Your thoughts shape your world. If you can master them, you can master anything.